Good morning, everyone. Oakley dokely. Hopefully, you can hear me all and see me all. See me all? Let's get on with it. So, today, welcome back to another monthly Risk Assessor live. So, last month, we introduced the risk assessment side of the app, which is by far one of our stronger and prouder parts of the app. Not that we don't like or are proud of all the other parts, but that's definitely kind of, as you can tell from the name, Risk Assessor. That was kind of where everything started. And then as we've grown and evolved over the years, and a team have kind of put the app out, played around with it, got feedback and adjusted it, we've added other modules, and method statement was one of those. And part of this live is getting your feedback, as much as us introducing you to the app. It's also you telling us kind of what you think and giving us some questions and challenges, and that's always really, really helpful. So today what we're going to do is go through the method statement side of the app. So we're going to give you an introduction into the method statement side. We're going to have a look at kind of an introduction onto the templates and how they work and what you need to do to get started. And then we'll demo doing a method statement really quickly on the desktop version. And then we'll also demo doing a method statement on the tablet as well. So the tablet version will look exactly like it does on the phone. Obviously, it's just a slightly wider or bigger screen, if that makes sense. Like last month, what we're not going to be able to do is cover absolutely everything. That's the point of doing these kind of monthly, if that makes sense. So we're going to, as we go through every month, we will cover more and more and more of the app because there really is just so much. If we get any comments or questions, then I will obviously try and address them as best I can. Oakley dokely. If you do want to get some more information, please check out www.riskassessor.net and you can go on there. You can see pricing, it's all up front, so you can really work out budgets, work out how many people are going to use the app, and then how much storage, which is how many documents you're going to get. So the lowest 150 megabyte, just in case you are going to go check out, will get you a few hundred documents. So we don't charge you per document, we charge you per person using the app and how much space you rent in the cloud, so to speak. So hopefully you can get more bang for your buck out of that. Let's get into method statements then. So let me share my screen. I don't need your tips. Thank you very much. Here we go. So hopefully you can see that screen. There we go. Lovely jubbly. So when you log into the app, this is typically what you see is your home. And it can vary depending on where you left the app. But this bit here, this yellow banner along the middle, you can see where I'm moving my mouse. That essentially is how you navigate in between different modules of the app. So what we want to do first is make sure that on this drop down, we are clicked on method statement. So if we're here, what the system is showing us is the risk assessment side of the system. So in these folders, we'll only see risk assessments. And then if we are here in method statements, what we will see is all the method statements in these folders. And what you'll notice here is this one, templates, changes. So when we go to risk assessment, this changes to hazards and controls. So in last month's live, we went through our hazard and controls library. Whereas when we go over into method statements, it's templates. And if you are just getting started on the app, this is where we need to go first. So we need to go to the templates first, because essentially we need to build a template. So this is no different from you having a Word document and you've got a blank Word document, and you wouldn't just send that to whoever you need to send it to and be like, this is a method statement. You want to structure it with headers and subheaders and statements. Now, those three things, headers, subheaders, and statements, are essentially the core function of the document. So kind of what you see here is all the headers, and this is the standard template that everybody gets. You can change what you call that. So you don't have to call it a method statement, even though the module of the app is called method statement. Essentially, you can call it whatever you want. So you can see here we've got one that's called standard operating procedure. We've got one here called method statement. So everyone gets this standard template method statement. And that goes through legislation, sequence of work, codes of practice, tools and equipment. And there's lots of information in there already to help you get started, but it is based around kind of construction and trades. So we have headers, subheaders, and statements. So if we start off with legislation section and we clicked on that, we can see we've got legislation as our header. And then over here on the quick view, we can see that there's a load of statements. So then if we go into that by clicking edit, we can now go straight into statements. So if you're doing statements, this is what it looks like. So the easiest way to think of it, header, subheader, and the statements are like the bullet points, right? So what does that kind of look like if you have subheaders? So that's a really good example in the sequence of work. So if we're running like an all-purpose building business, construction business, we might do plumbing, carpentry, electrics, and just general building. So if we go back and we click on here, we would then go into our subheaders. So now we've got subheaders, and then underneath the subheaders, then we will have more subheaders because we got sequence of work, we're doing plumbing, and then parts of that plumbing process, we have preparation, maintenance / repair work, and then sign off and leaving site. Then when we go into preparation, now we have our statements. So hopefully you can start to picture what the document's looking like. Sequence of work, then underneath it we would have plumbing, preparation, work, sign off. And then we're also doing some electrical work on that job as well. So we would have sequence of work, plumbing, prep, work, sign off, and then underneath that, electrics, attending site, preparation, works and replacement, finishing, and you would have all the statements for each of those. That's what you need to build in first. Now, it can take you it can take a moment to get your head around, but ultimately, if you think of it kind of like a Word document, you're building a template of headers, subheaders, and statements. What you want to try and do is build in essentially all the types of work that you do in your business into either a template or a series of templates. The aim with the hazard libraries and the templates on the method statement is to essentially get everything into the system. And then once it's in the system, when you are coming to actually doing a proper method statement or risk assessment, all the legwork is done. So now all you're doing is selecting what is specific to that job. So the aim of this is you do all that legwork up front to enable you to be site specific, which is where we want to get to, right? Site and machine and task specific risk assessments. So the aim of risk assessor is about taking the hard bit out of that. So we've done all the wording and all of the hard work of putting all the options in there. We still get that flexibility when we're on site to add and change without changing the back of house, the same as we do in the risk assessment. So we're going to spend some time building our template. Like we say, this template is there for press the wrong button. This template is there for everyone. There's the legislation, sequence of work, proof codes of practice, tools and equipment, all the way down to environment and waste management. Now, the one thing I would say is you'll notice two things on the standard template that everybody gets is in the hazardous substances, you can see images. And then in the PPE requirements, clicked on the wrong one. There we go. And in the PPE requirements, you also have symbols. Now, you can add kind of wording and stuff to the document as much as you want. If you delete these symbols, you'll have to raise a ticket to get them put back in. This just because it's slightly more of a chunkier job and we wouldn't be able to let anyone and everyone do it. So just keep that in mind when you're kind of removing these symbols. But other than that, everything else is header, subheader, statement. The only ones that are different are the hazardous substances and the PPE requirements, just because they're symbols already built into the system. If you don't want those, that's fine. You can delete them. You can just start a whole new template from scratch. You click add new template. You can change the name. So I don't want to call it a standard operating procedure. I want to call a method statement. I just want to call it process. And process. So that's the template header and the template name. So this is what we would see in the system. This is what would be on the document. I often get them the wrong way around, so hopefully that was right. Now what we come to is this section here. So this section here, I'll show you how to edit this if you've already got the pre kind of entered template. But ultimately, this is kind of the standard template for all the general project information that sits at the top of the document. So the headers, subheaders, and statements kind of in the main bulk of the document. This is all the general information at the top. So we can see template header and template name is already there. And then we've got date, name, project reference, client, principal contractor, and it reads left to right. So you would kind of go across like this: location of work, address, start date, end date, site supervisor contact, number of contractors, F10, construction phase plan applicable. So you can see this is designed for a construction project, construction industry. You can delete these just by clicking delete. And then if you click delete and you want to add something else, you just click add field down here. And you might put in here, I don't know, I'm trying to think of something now. Let's say health and safety competent person. And then what we're going to do is have text. We can change it to date, yes or no, or an option. Let's say if I clicked option, because we've got multiple people in our safety team, so we might assign it to Steve Smith, for example. And then if it's not Steve, it'll be James McPherson. Oh, I can't spell my name. And then if it's not James, it would be Sherry McPherson, for example, right? So there are fields. So now what we'll have is a drop down to let us select who is our competent person for that project. So we can keep all of that stuff. We can change this stuff around as well. Like if I wanted to, oh, my mouse is playing up now. If I wanted to move this around, I could just float that and just say, I'm not happy with where that sits. I want that to sit above the contractor, for example. If I wanted it to sit right at the beginning, I can put it over there. So we can play around with it as much as we want, and it just kind of bounces around. We click submit, and that now is set as our top of our document. Now we get to the headers, subheaders, and statements section. So you'll see what it's done is it brought over the standard template for you to use if you would like to. You can delete them if you want to start from scratch. We know customers that have completely started from scratch. We know customers that have adjusted this, and we know a lot of customers just use this. So it really is up to you. The method statement is fully flexible. Okay, so we've built our template and we're happy with it, and then we're going to go do a risk assessment. Before we do that though, what if we wanted to change that information at the top that I've just done on a pre-existing document? That's easy. So we'll go to method statement in here, and when we hover over it, we can see these three dots. If we go and hover over those three dots here, we'll see this pencil. If I click on that pencil, it opens up that section. So that's our kind of core information for that document. So now I can change and play around with that if I want to. If I didn't mean to go there, I can click back or cancel. And that just jumps me back to the template. So we spent a good amount of time building that, getting that ready. If you are struggling with that at any point, if you're struggling with anything on Risk Assessor, please click on this book icon at the top. Once you click on that, it'll open Vimeo, and Vimeo will be able to link you, essentially, whatever page you're on, it will link you to the video that applies to that page. So if you're ever stuck, please do that. If you ever have any problems, like technically speaking, raise a ticket. Or if you just want to get this rolled out in the business, but you haven't got enough time to kind of build all the templates, do the hazard libraries and stuff like that, then please contact our consulting arm, our sister company, Riskfluent, and they'll be able to help you out as well. So we're going to spend some time building our templates, getting our hazard libraries ready, and we're ready to go now. Okay, what we might do before we go is set up a folder system. So we might do our folder system based on locations like Romford, Cheltenham, Milton Keynes, Oxford, Brighton, and Colchester, for example. We could also do that as customers. So let's say, for example, we are facilities management for some of the biggest supermarket chains in the UK. We might have Morrisons, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, for example, right? So we have all of those there as well. And then within those, you could have subfolders as well if you wanted to. So if you wanted to have the Tesco folder, then you wanted to have Romford, Cheltenham, Milton Keynes, the three you manage, for example, you can do that. Then within that folder system, you can start to set up access and control and stuff like that. And we're going to go through all of the back of house technical stuff in another demo, just because there's a lot to cover. And I want to make sure that we cover everything on method statements. Oakley dokley. So we've built our folder system now. So we're happy. We're good to go. So I want to do a new method statement for Romford, and I want to do it on the desktop. That's fine. I'm going to go over here, hover over Romford, and click new. Once I click new, you can just click I understand, and off we go. So all of that information that we had on before that we were playing around with is ready to go. So we're going to project name, Tesco fit out, for example. Project reference 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Client Tesco Romford. Principal contractor McPherson Construction, for example. McPherson. Location work Romford site. Site address. Example. Start date. Let's say we are going to start at the end of Feb. And it's going to take us the quickest construction project fit out ever. It's going to take us a month. That's how quick we are. Site supervisor is Steve Smith. Site supervisor contact number with 0712345 for example. Number of contractors. Let's say we've got 4 contractors on there. Let's say it's not F10, for example, but we do have a construction phase plan. With one, James is our competent person. That's the top of our document. So then we click start now. Now what you can see is on our right hand side we have our header, and then we have our statements. So that section didn't have any subheaders, so we just have headers and statements. So if you want to have, I'm personally not a massive fan of putting loads of legislation on method statements, but hey, whatever floats your boat. So we're going to go through, I'm going to select all the the legislation that applies to this project. I'm just going to randomly click a load of stuff. And then you can see on the left-hand side, building our method statement. Now, when you do it on the tablet, it looks slightly different to this. I actually quite like on the desktop version that you can kind of see the document being built whilst you're going, but obviously you can't carry a laptop outside of you. So everything's kind of a trade-off. If I go in there, actually, we've missed a piece of legislation. I can click custom statement and then just click example legislation. Legislation. Hey, well, I felt under pressure there. Click submit, and that just adds that to the bottom of that list here. And I can click, yeah, and I want to put that in there. If I want to upload an image, I can click image and then upload that into there. And that will just sit at the bottom. The reference will sit at the bottom of the section. I'm nervous as to what pictures we've got on here now. If I'm going to, I don't have any that no. I'll have to get some images prepared next time, so you don't have random pictures of my daughter or something on there. But essentially, what it would do is put an image reference, and then the image would sit at the bottom of the document. Note to James. Okay, so we click next. Now we've got subheaders. So we have header at the top, sequence of work, then we have subheaders. So we're going to do some plumbing on this job. So we click on plumbing, and then we're going to go prep work. We're going to have all of these, get rid of that, save us brain space, and we're going to do these. This is our process. And once we've done that, we close that one out. Then for sign off, I want them to request facilities manager inspect work, sign off, pack tools away, maintain a fire watch, and then close out. We're also going to do some Sparky work as well. So I want them to attend site, do those processes. I want them to prep with these 4 steps, and then I want them to carry out the work, and then finish off with those, and done. Now we've built our document over here, so we can see we've got legislation, statements, header, sequence of work, subheader, plumbing, and then the steps of plumbing: prep, maintenance, sign off, and then electrics. We've got attendance site, prep, works, finishing. So you can really start to see the document being built now, and you can see how kind of quick we are with putting this together. So now I'm going to click next, and then we've already put in some kind of approved code of practice. So I click a load of those that apply. Again, I'm just clicking random ones. Now we've already pre-entered all of our tools in I'm personally a big fan of putting tools and raw materials in. If you're kind of doing this manually on Word, that's going to be a massive pain in the ass. But I love that we can build this into the system. I think if I put my consulting hat on and I think about like setting people up for success, having a tools list, a materials list, it's a really, really good idea. Even if we're just putting like general engineers pack, and as long as we've then detailed what that general engineers pack kind of consists of, I just really like it. I really like when we're setting people up for success, giving them a little nudge to just say, hey, don't forget this is all of your stuff. So your method statement could kind of then act as like a little bit of a checklist, and you don't need another checklist piece of paper. So I love stuff like this. So I really, really like having tools and equipment. So what are we doing on this job? We know we're doing plumbing. So we've got plumbing, and then we're going to go put all the bits of equipment that we want them to have. And I'm not going to go put all of them. If you wanted, like I say, you can condense them down into like packs. So when we've got the Sparky as well, so we're going to do all of the bits of gear that the Sparky needs. And it's only going to show what we select on the document. So we go through, we need some special permits to work. So yeah, we know we're doing electrical work, so we're going to need a permit for that as well. Now we've got those images that I mentioned. So let's say we've got some serious health hazards, chemicals, some explosives, and then hazards to the environment. And then that acts as a bit of a signposting to say, right, we've got chemicals, you need to go look for your cost assessment. So next, we've got some built-in procedures for emergencies and first aid. Then we've got our welfare provision. So there's kind of a statement there about whose responsibility is just built into the template. But then we're going to go toilets, washing facilities, drinking water, and we've got change rooms and lockers, for example. Right. So we'll click next. Then we've got our PPE. So we get some signage. We want some hearing protection, eye protection, high vis. We want to put a sign up saying that it's mandatory, and then we're going to wear a hard hat as well. It wouldn't be a construction site without all of those. Then we're going to work on our security. So we're going to put all three of these in. And then how we're going to manage our waste, we're going to separate the waste types. So we're going to bring some spill kits and have some appropriate containers, allow customers to type something up there if we want to. And then once we finish that, we are going to click generate PDF, and that's going to collate all of that stuff into your finished method statement. There we go. So now we've got our method statement. If we put our logo into the system, it will put our logo automatically at the top. It's going to take your user information. So all of this stuff I've already built into the system as my user information, which, like I said, is kind of the back of house stuff, which we'll deal with in another demo. All that general information sits at the top. Then we've got our legislation statements, and then we've got sequence of work, plumbing, preparation, maintenance work, sign off and leaving site, electrics, attending site, preparation, works replacement, approved codes of practice, tools and equipment, special permits, hazardous substances, emergency procedures, welfare, PPE, securing the working area. Then it's automatically put my signature in there, and I'm happy with that method statement, so I will click finish. Once I click finish, there it is, and I want, let's say I want one of my team to review that, and what we would be able to do, but I don't on this account have anyone set up, is I can request a review, and then once I request a review, it essentially show the names of other users, and I would send it to them to carry out a review. And then what that person will do, so let's say it's been sent to me, is I'll go, okay, cool. So thanks, Sherry, for example, for asking me to review it. I'm going to click review. It's going to open this up. Click view report. I'm just going to have a quick read. And then I'm really happy with that. Good job. And then say, yep, I'm happy with that. So let's say James has written it. So I'm pretending to be Sherry for now. So Sherry's written it. And if I wanted to, I could upload my signature here. So if I had one built into the system, like an e-signature, I can put that in there. I can use the mouse to do the scribble if I want to. And then I click save. And what that now does is insert that signature into the document. There we go. So completed by James, reviewed by Sherry, signed on the same day. Really lovely. So we've got that nice process, audit process and stuff like that. To just modify. Okay, yeah, good question. Thank you very much. So just we've got a question here. So does it allow you to adjust and modify pre-populated controls, e.g. tools, equipment, if you want to be more specific? Great question. Thank you very much. So yes is the answer. You can do that both on desktop and tablet. So what I'll do now is show what the building of the method statement looks like on tablet, and I shall nail that one as well. So we are now going to do the same process but on the tablet. So let me show you my tablet. There we go. Okay, so we're into the tablet. I'm going to click the three lines on the top left corner and change the section of the, oh, you can't see that. What's going on there? Let me change the screen. Sorry about this. Let me get the right screen for you all. Here we go. Okay, so now you should see my tablet. What we would do is just make sure we're in the right part of the app by clicking the three lines on the top left corner, and then we'll select method statement. So we're all good to go, and what we want to do now is do new method statement. So we'll make sure we're in the right template. If we wanted to on there, we just click that drop down and change it to method statement, and off we go. So same thing. So let's say we're doing that Tesco job, but this time I'm on site doing it. Tesco fit out 2. Go on here. Fit out 2. And then we'll just do loads of examples for you. We'll whiz through that so you don't need to see all of that again, but essentially it's exactly the same. And then we'll click next. Same process now, so we can see we've got the header at the top, and then we've got our statements, and then we've got tick box on the right hand side that we can just go through and tick the ones that apply. Now, if I wanted to change one of these, so I'm going to do plumbing, and I'm going to do some preparation, and you sit there and I say, actually, this one here needs something a bit more specific. What I want to do is tell them who to specifically report to. So the customer's told me that we will need to meet, let's say, Sherry at the main reception in building 1. So now we're able to be nice and site specific by adding that statement in there. What that doesn't do is it doesn't change it in the back of house on your template. So it enables you to be site specific for this document, so it will change it for that document, but it won't damage all of your back of house stuff. So you still maintain that quality control over all the other documents. So we've got that. Make sure you got the that same box ticked. And we're all good to go there. But actually I want to add another custom statement as well, so I can just click add custom statement, and I want to say make sure you park in the contractor car park on level 2, for example, and then I click tick there, and off I go. And then as you go, you just keep going through tools and equipment, hammer, and then just put specifically, don't use Steve's hammer, it's broke, blah, 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 and off we go. Make sure we're ticking them, and then they'll add to the document, and we just keep whizzing through. If we wanted to add a picture on here, we could just keep going through. So say, for example, an emergency and first aid, I wanted to add a picture. On the tablet, you get the or the phone, you get the ability to take a picture. So I'll take a picture of my Star Wars memorabilia, and I'll click proceed, and then we just whiz through to the end of the document. Let's get these all in there. You can still see this? Yes, you can. Good. There we go. So there's our risk assessment. It's the same process. He's added all that information at the top. We got our legislation, our sequence of work with our specific note on there. We will need to meet Sherry at the main reception. Then we got the note about don't use Steve's hammer. And then we keep going through. And then we added that picture into emergency procedure. So he's got C image reference 1 in the appendix. So we'll just go through, read the rest of the document, completed by James. And then we can see image reference 1 of some beautiful Star Wars memorabilia, not toys, memorabilia. So then we go done. We are happy with that. Click complete, and off we go. When you're on the tablet, if you see the green tick, same as the risk assessment side, that means it's gone up into the cloud. If you haven't got the tick, then it hasn't gone up yet. So today, my internet's working lovely, and it's gone straight up into the cloud. So now if I wanted to, I could request a review. Now, I don't have anyone set up, but if I wanted to, I click request review, and what that would do is show me a list of names that I could select, but I don't have anyone set up for today. So we would do that. I can carry out the review on the tablet as well. So if I'm on the tablet and I wanted to review, I can actually review on here. So I click digital, and it looks exactly the same, slightly different layout and color, but ultimately it's exactly the same process. I read the document if I want to by clicking view report just down here, and I'll just click, yep, I'm happy with that. So James person signing off his own homework, and then in here I can use my Apple Pen. I could use my finger if I wanted to, and I'll just give my signature. If you got the Apple Pen, it works really well, or if you got any kind of stylus, it works really well. So oh no, I've screwed that up. I can click clear, and then I'll go, oh, there we go, that's better, and then off I go. Click done, and that adds that into there as well. Where's it gone? There it is. We'll just pass it too quick. And then we click done. We are happy with that. Our method statement is now done. Just fast forward. We've done the method statement. Maybe we'll download the PDF and email it to the customer, which I'll show you how to do in a second. And the customer's approved it. And what we are doing now is that we're on site, and now I'm the team leader of the job, and I'm going to brief to the guys and girls doing the job. Right, everybody, listen in, and we're just going to run through the risk assessment and method statement. So I've gone through the risk assessment, now I'll go through the method statement. So I'm just going to brief you all on this. What I'm going to do is open up the method statement. So I'm going to click view report. And say, right, today, just some important points. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. Can have a read if you want to. I'm going to go through a couple of important points. I just want to remind everyone, make sure we don't use Steve's hammer because it's broken. Are we all parked on level 2? Yeah, all good. Right, nice one. We're all signed in with Sherry on the main reception. Yeah, go. You get the gist. You go through the whole thing, and the kind of main points, so to speak. You go through. You briefed it out to everyone. And go, okay, cool. I'm happy. Right, just going to pass the tablet round to everybody. Feel free to use the pen on the top. And what I want you to do, if you want to read it, please feel free to. But I'm going to ask you to sign on. So now I'll pass the tablet round to everybody. And I go, yep, thanks, James. Awesome. I shall sign off here. It's not letting me because I've had my Apple Pencil off. There we go. It's bloody functional iPad. There we go. So Steve is happy with it. Steve Smith. Yep, I'm happy with that. And then what I'll do, get rid of that keyboard. Oh, James, what are you doing? Hide keyboard. And then Steve Smith gets the Apple Pencil and he goes, yep, I'm happy. Lovely signature. And we click add another. So just down on here, click add another. And I hand it to the next person. And it's Bob. If I want to use the pen in here, I can. Bob. Let's call him Bob Billy. Billy, there we go. Obviously depends on Apple, but some styluses are better than others. But you can type that if you want to. And then Bob Billy's happy with it. Actually, Bob just wants to double check a few things, so he's going to click review report. And just can't remember what you said about the hammer. Oh, Steve's hammer. Yeah, okay, right. I'm happy with that now. So Bob Billy signs it off as well. And then we click done. That's our whole team pass round. And then what that does now is it adds Steve and Bob Billy's signature to the bottom to show that they have signed, to read and understood the document. We click complete, and off we go. Done. Our method statement is now done. And now what we might do is show you how to download this stuff and send to a customer, because that's quite a popular function nowadays. A lot of our customers want to see our RAMs, our risk assessments and method statements before we go on site. So last thing we'll cover then before we open up for any questions, if there are any more. We've got our method statements library here now. So we click home, and now this is our library of ones that are already done. So we've got all of our folders here, and we know we're doing this job in Romford. So we want to go into the Romford folder, and I'm going to find that Tesco fit out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to download that PDF. So I'm going to click download. That's going to download that for me, download it in a PDF, and I can email that to the customer. There's a couple of nice little tricks as well that we have here, though. Some extra little ways to share this information. Download and send it to the customer, easy peasy. What if we wanted to do a method statement for, say, like, or a procedure for using a piece of equipment? It doesn't really change. We don't really send that out to anyone. But I want to get it in the moment so people can just check it. Well, that's what the QR code is for. So we can turn QR code on, and then that will create a QR code. Now, what that will do is just create a little QR sticker, which you can't see. And let me just change the screen. And what it would do is it just creates this here. There we go. And you can download that. It creates a poster and a sticker with a QR code. And now if I scan that with the tablet, I should show you what that looks like. So if I get that on this screen, so you can see that over here, and then I get you this share screen is really starting to annoy me. I have to find out a better way to do this. And then here we go. So now I've got my tablet back on, so you can see up here we've got our QR code. I always get nervous doing the QR codes because I don't know. I just don't trust technology, people. You know, which is ironic. Always when you're demoing it, it never works. Not the QR code specifically, just something. So I'm going to click scan QR code. There we go. And then what that done is download that into our library. So there we go. There's Tesco Fit Out 1 at the bottom. Now I can have a look, so we can go, oh yeah, right. What that's saying is that I haven't got the template that's been used to do template Tesco Fit Out 1, so I need to download it. So we just go, yeah, now I've got full functionality on that. Basically, they told the system I want that method statement, and it's pulled it down from the cloud and put it into my tablet for me. So now I can sign off, I can review it, I can also edit it now if I have the right access rights. So lots of flexibility there for the QR code. That's kind of one of my favorite features on the method statement side. But I really, as a consultant, as a safety professional as well, the sign off for me, I always usually get a bit funny about sign offs, but I like if it's worked into a pre-shift brief. I think it's really powerful, really good nudge for kind of human factors and behaviors and stuff like that. And then getting people to sign things off, making it easy and in the moment, I think just makes it gives you that audit trail which you need, but doesn't make it feel like you're ass covering. It feels like it's adding value to the business, which I really, really like. You've got the ability to add pictures. You've got all of that stuff. You've got full flexibility on the method statement side. We've seen customers make some really different documents on here. Essentially, you could really make whatever document you want if it's in that structure of header, subheaders, and statements. And you put all the statements in. Essentially, the world is your oyster. The risk assessor world is your oyster. So let me just double check the questions. So we had a question from Jay. Thank you, Jay. So does it allow for the adjust or modify pre-populated controls, tools, equipment? If you wanted to be more specific, yeah. Hopefully I covered that on the demo of the tablet, but you can do that on the desktop as well. So at any point you can change those statements, and it doesn't change it in this template, it just changes it in the document that you're building at the moment. You can go in and edit one that you've done. So for example, you've sent it to the customer's come back and absolutely tore it apart, and the PDF, there's comments all over the place. You can go back and click on edit. If you have signed them and you're going back in the edit, what it's going to say is going to bring those signatures off, because it's like a new document. You're changing it, so it's like you're changing it, but someone signed it, just doesn't feel right. So that's kind of what the system is saying, is you can't change something. James has already signed it, so he would be signing something you've changed. So it takes the signatures off and say okay, and then it opens up the document document, and I can go back in and I can make any changes I want to. Save and close. And if I want to overwrite it, I'll overwrite it. And that's it done. So now, there we go. We've made our changes. It's reinserted my signature. And I click finish. Oakley dokley. So if there's no more questions, thank you very much for watching, everybody. Next month we'll go through some of the more back of house stuff. So we'll go through like access control. We'll go through changing little settings and wordings and stuff on there. We'll go through the syncs with Google Drive and OneDrive and bits and bobs like that. Setting up notifications and all that as well. And then in the following months, what we'll go through is our two kind of little extra modules that we have, incident reporting and the checklist as well. But our primary kind of, what would you say, our main focus areas are risk assessments and our method statements. I think that's where we really shine. I think our others are good, but ultimately our risk assessment and method statements, I think, really shine. We've seen big success with a lot of customers that really struggle. And like I said, putting my kind of consulting hat on, one of the things that attracted us to kind of come on board with Risk Assessor was just the ability to actually produce good risk assessments and method statements that were specific to site, instead of just generic crap. But also being empathetic to the challenge of the businesses, particularly small businesses that are doing those risk assessments and method statements that are not really given any time, any money, to actually do good risk assessments. So they're told to do it quick. They're given tight deadlines and no kind of allocation within the budget to be actually go to site and do it. So the ability, if we set up the templates and the hazard libraries right, in theory, someone quoting the job, that kind of what they're doing is planning it and risk assess it. They could do that when they're there in the moment. It would take them less than 15 minutes. Hopefully that helps. I'll linger around just for another minute or so, waffling. If there's any other questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. If there's anything you've missed or you didn't feel comfortable to ask a question, please just drop me or Sherry a DM on LinkedIn. We'll happily answer. There we go. Couldn't think of the word. We'll happily answer your questions. If you are interested in Risk Assessor, you can download it free of charge on Google and Apple, and you can start playing around with it free of charge as well. So you can produce up to 3 documents in the system completely free of charge. It only captures limited to those 3, and it'll have the watermark on there. So if you want to be able to take the watermark of Risk Assessor off and you want to put your own branding on, then you need to go to a paid system. If you are working out how to go to do that and you want to work out your budgets and so on, I can show you whilst I'm waiting to see if there's any more comments. I shall show you how to do that. So it take me 2 seconds. Boop, boop, boop. So you go to the risk assessment website. I'll just log out and that's what you'll see. So you go into the website, you'll see this page here. You click pricing up here and there are 4 packages. There's the pay as you go. Then there's Pro, Business and Enterprise. The only difference on the Pro, Business and Enterprise to pay as you go is they're set up with preloaded kind of memory. So you get 1 gig, 2 gig and 2 gig retrospectively on the systems, and then 50 users, 100 users and 200 users. You can go more than that. If you want to go more than that, just let us know and we'll get you set up. We'll work that out for you. All the pricing is there. And on the Pro, Business and Enterprise, you can pay on backs. So they're set up for your bigger companies that want to pay on backs. But if you are just wanted to play around with it, or you are testing it in a smaller part of the business before rolling it out, then the pay as you go is best suited for you. You can change pay annually or monthly, and you basically just calculate your price on here. So I only want 5 users, and we're definitely not going to do more than a few hundred documents. So we'll leave it at 150 megabyte. Boom, there's your price. It's 234 quid. You just want to go one person, lowest memory, 120 quid. But I want to pay annually. I want to pay monthly, £12 a month. So everything is there for you to be able to work out, get started on your own, and hopefully these lives help. Hopefully the demos that are already built into the system by clicking that little book in the top right corner will help you. If you're on the tablet or the phone, there's a little button that says tutorial. Make sure you click on those. And thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. And I shall see you next month for the next live demo. This page will stay there. So if you want to come back and watch this, or if you're catching this late, then don't worry, you can still watch it. We're going to share it and upload it to YouTube and all of that stuff as well. So you can come back to it at a later date. But thank you everyone for your time, and have a good day and a lovely weekend.